Welcome back to another episode of Stratford Vibe Exchange. I'm your host, Karim Rushdy, and we're filming in Fresh and Free Studios at Nancy Campbell Academy, downtown Stratford. Today I can't say special guest. I got my little brother is here. We got the one and only Bigg Zee. How you doing today?
Much appreciated, man. I'm really good now that I'm here. You know, we've been talking about doing this for a little while now.
That's right.
And I'm really glad to see what you built here. Everything is amazing. I remember when we were younger and you were telling me all the things you had plans for this studio, and then just seeing it all come into fruition. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I remember saying to you when you walked in, because you walked in and said, okay, you've done it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Yep.
all those years of work and sacrifice, because most people walk in here and just go, wow, this is a great studio.
Right?
But when you walk in, you know what I've been, you know my journey, you know, and I know your journey. So that's why you're my bro and I'm your bro.
Of course.
It's wild, man. It's different.
You know, it's been over 10 years now. I know that.
Yeah.
Over
How
10.
old are you now?
I'm about to turn 25 in August.
Ooh.
So next month, yeah.
Hey, happy early birthday.
Much appreciated, man. Thank you.
25.
I know, right?
And I'm 35.
I met you when I was 13.
Yeah. That's wild. So I met you at the first rap camp
Mm-hmm.
that I ever did. Your mom saw the bicycle billboard.
Oh, man. I'm happy that she did, though. If none of y'all know the story, this man drove all around London for 3 weeks, running around with the sign on the back of his bike, hoping that anybody would come to his rap camp.
Yeah.
And, you know, my mom saw it, and it just seemed like the good opportunity. And right away, it was like, all right, it's camp for rap. I got to show up. And lo and behold, I was the only one that actually came from the sign.
From the sign. You were, literally, I had one phone call, and it was you. So it felt like destiny, to be honest.
It's definitely meant to happen.
Because why did no one else call?
To be honest, though, like, and here's the thing, especially now I'm older, the London scene's grown so much. I've met so many talented artists from out there. I'm just surprised not more of them took that opportunity. I would assume a lot of them would have seen, but
Right.
you know, the London scene's changed a lot. You know, more artists are more open to do those type of things. I just knew from a young age that if I ever wanted to do something like this, I had to go a little extra mile, you know?
Right.
Maybe that's just me. I like doing things big.
Because you're Bigg Zee.
Yeah, of course.
The biggest Z.
The biggest Z.
That's
Yes.
amazing. So you started off as Zach,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep,
And
Zach.
then you became Z.
So
and then you became Bigg Zee. Walk us through the name journey.
Well, I mean, it's just always easier for people to call me Z when I was little. And then as I grew older, I've always been like the bigger one in my classes and the things I did. And so Bigg Zee kind of went hand in hand when I was younger. And
Right.
then, like, as I got older, it really solidified who I was, because then it kind of defined me for who I was. It wasn't just a nickname that, you know, maybe my brothers or my cousins gave me just running around. It was something that people, when they saw me, they knew who I was. And when I started releasing more music and doing things on my own, it was like, okay, that's who I am now. That's the brand, that's the label, what I want to represent. That's what I'm going to push for. And just from there, it's become a whole new thing.
When that's big with 2 G's.
Yeah, you know it.
B-I-double-G.
Z to the double E.
Z to the double E. That's how you used to say it all the time.
Oh, yeah. Every time I start a show.
But you got a new one. What'd you say? You said
If you don't know, you won't know, but you better realize who it is. I go by the name B-I-double-D-Z-double-E, otherwise known as Bigg Zee. Nice to meet y'all.
That's amazing.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Man,
sir.
I feel so boring now. All I say is, hi, I'm Karim. That's all I got.
Hey, man. I don't know. It all comes naturally. And you be killing your shows. Maybe you don't even need an intro. Hey, you know? Maybe you're just that special. You don't need that.
Or maybe I should make a soundtrack. Like...
Ooh. Ooh.
Boom, boom. My name is Karim. No, I don't know. We'll work on it.
You'll get there. You'll get there. I like that though. The beatbox into it.
Yeah.
I just imagined you coming out, the light shine on you, and like some smoke coming out.
You gotta have a smoke machine.
Exactly.
That's
you always
important.
need a smoke machine.
Yeah. So you haven't been to our school here of Nancy Campbell for a few years, but the last time you were here, you and I shared the stage.
Yeah.
And rocked the show at one of our school's showcases.
Yeah, little showcase for the people.
And
it was good. We did
wild.
Monuments, right?
Yeah. I got the video of it. You and me and Raya performed it live.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I actually found the video on my Google Drive like last year or something.
That's incredible. I'm so glad you have that footage.
I can show it to you. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I thought a lot of those got lost in the archives over the years. So I'm glad you have a little stash.
No, almost everything got lost because the computer I was using died, and my hard drive, external hard drive, also died. Everything lost.
The struggles of media. I've heard that story 1,000 times, man.
To everyone out there, back up
everything. Back up your stuff.
Back up your stuff.
Yeah.
So, but how does it feel to be back in Stratford, back in the school, and in the new studio?
A lot of nostalgia, but for me, it's like, how do I put it? When I see all this, it's everything I knew it was going to be. You know, you're always someone that I admired for the fact that, well, I try and live up to that if I say I'm going to do something, I intend to do it by any means possible. And I knew from the start that when you had this idea in your mind, you had it so mapped out to the point where even us sitting on this couch here, like you've told me about doing this before. So it's like everything you ever told me and planned about, you've done and you've accomplished. And I knew you had that drive in you that you wouldn't let other things in your life deter you away from your goal. Wow. And that's something that I can really appreciate because that's what I try and live up to.
Thank you, man.
So,
wow.
Yeah, it's a lot for me, and I'm very happy to be here to see it. It makes me really happy to see this all come together.
Wow. Well, it makes me happy that you're here again. The return.
Course. The return. I'm back.
Of the biggest Z.
You love that, eh?
I do. I really love the biggest Z, and I love what you said about the last letter, but the first to arrive, or what'd you say?
I'm the first choice, but the last letter.
The first choice, but the last letter. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, and just to shower you back with praise, because you seem to hold me in a high regard, but it's really the other way around. But actually, it's not. It's both. It's both. It's a reciprocal bromance.
Hey. The love is mutual.
The love is mutual. That's all I meant to say. But yeah, because you have pushed through so much in your life and accomplished huge feats of bravery and confidence. You know, in a condition in a society where that's not expected of you. That's, in my opinion, and you've risen above so many challenges, and we all have these moments to face some sort of struggle and rise above it.
100%.
But you're someone that I hold very dear to my heart because I know that you've faced some serious, heavy challenges for you and your family, and pushing past those to bring positivity to the world is wild. You know, and I don't even mean in some grandiose thing you're doing, even just the way you hug people. Like you hugged me today, it actually released some of my pent up emotion that I didn't even know I had. You know?
I'm glad I could be that. That's my goal anyways, is to try and be that. If I can be a beacon in someone's day in the moment, then that's all I have to be.
You're a hug beacon.
You know what? I got the best bear hugs. I'm willing to give it out.
But you know, I'm a Rushdy, right? That's my family name. And so I have brothers and sisters and cousins and uncles, and we're well known for our hugs. People come to get a Rushdy hug. But your hug, it you know, the Rushdy hug pales in comparison.
Wow.
Let's talk about hugs. How'd you learn how to hug?
Well, there's a lot there. let me see this. To be someone's comfort in dire situations, I've grown to always be, even from a young age. And when there's no words to be spoken, or sometimes there's just not words needed to be spoken, a hug is the one thing that can transfer energy that everybody understands, in a sense.
Wow.
And then depending on how they embrace you, is you can tell their emotion from there. You can tell how much they need, or how much they don't need, or maybe sometimes they just need to be with themselves. But that moment right there when you hug them is kind of like that moment of, all right, I'm letting the most vulnerable of myself, I'm letting you near all the areas, a part of me that are very sensitive to me, so, and very important to me. So if I'm able to embrace you that way, then that's me opening myself to you, hopefully being able to reciprocate that in a way. You know what I mean? And that's just, it's something that I've learned that, you know, even in the darkest of situations I've been in, it's just that's the thing that's helped me or the other people around me going through those times as well.
Wow.
So I think that's where it stems from, is that when I do hug somebody, it's meant to be pure love. And that's something that not a lot of people have anymore. So if
only you can get deep on a hug.
I can get deep on a lot of things, man.
Yeah, it's amazing. You took me to another world there. Like, wow, just from a hug. But that's the power of your eloquence, you know. Wow, man. Let's see, hugs. Where did I learn to hug? I learned how to hug. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's something. I think some families have it and some families don't do it. Some families express in different ways.
100%.
You know, but in my family, it's definitely hugging is a thing. Like,
right.
Well, especially if you haven't seen each other in a while.
Mm-hmm.
That's the expectation. We're gonna hug,
right,
until one of us is in maybe physical pain. You know, like we're really, we're in there.
How did you feel when? Well, I won't say beginning COVID, I'll say mid-COVID, when things were confusing.
Oh, man.
Because that was probably one of the hardest things for me, because there were so many people that I was seeing again and I wanted to hug, and just more people were comfortable than others. And it was something I had to do for myself. I'm curious how you felt in all that on them times.
Yeah, man. I don't know. COVID was just a messed up time in general.
Mm-hmm.
And so I basically had to just detach myself from many things during COVID. You know, I was teaching online. We did a great job, in my opinion, at the school. You know, we really went above and beyond. I found out later. I thought we were just doing the bare minimum, and that's just how it was. But I found out later we actually did a lot, and we went above and beyond online.
You guys have always tried to do the best for everybody, though, so I'm not even surprised by that.
Thanks. Yeah, I shouldn't be either, but I was. And and so I found myself detaching from so many things, and in a way that's a good thing. You know, you develop the capacity to be detached, detachment. But in a way, there's things we need and there's things we rely on.
100%.
And I didn't know I was relying on socializing and hugging so much. And so I just became real detached. I just got really sad, actually.
So here's my thing, though, is why I just asked that, because it's unfortunately it had to be in those sad times, but then it really made us, you know, all appreciate those moments together. Yeah. And I think that's why now it even means so much more, especially when we do it, because it's both of our families, you know, and it's just what we do, we embrace.
Yeah, the way we hug, if one of us has a disease, the other one definitely has it after the hug.
We're mixing after today.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, and that's what I try and do, see the beauty in the chaos. And that was one beautiful thing I think from that, was it made us all appreciate things a lot more. You know, even just for things of like going out to go eat with my parents. We couldn't do that no more, and I didn't realize how much that, you know, kind of had an effect on me until I realized, like, that was the one thing that I could do that we were in a good mind state. We wanted to help each other and eat together and enjoy ourselves together.
Right,
You know,
right.
everybody has a smile on their face when they have a full belly.
Yeah, that's so true. No one's hangry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like after COVID, I really took time, and every time I get a chance to go out with, you know, even my pops or my mom, and even just have a quick breakfast or whatever, you know, that means a whole lot more to me than it did back then, because now it's a moment where I can breathe and be with them and then just enjoy and share thoughts together, where as before it just seemed like, oh, we're just getting sustenance. You know?
Yeah,
It
right.
made me appreciate things a lot more. So I
Yeah.
feel like maybe it might have done the same for you in a sense.
Oh, big time. Huge time.
Yeah. 100%.
100%, dude. Yeah. Yeah, COVID was an opportunity to really think about what we value and not go back to the normal, because the normal wasn't working.
There is no
None
of that normal from back then. That's not coming back.
That's not okay.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, it actually was a good chance for many of us to rethink life in general and realize, what are we really, if not spiritual beings having a material experience?
Right.
You know, and because even though we couldn't get some of these physical things, we still could connect and we still could inspire each other. There was a lot of beautiful things going on.
Oh, yes.
You know, I heard about so many like prayer chains that were happening on Zoom, people gathering just to support each other on Zoom and connecting, and all these, like, so many connections were made, and
people really
yeah.
went the extra mile to do things like that, to have mass and to have events. Oh man, doing the Zoom events for concerts. I think we did one together.
Yeah,
as well.
we did.
That was amazing, and
that was fun. That was in this room, but it looked very different.
Yeah, it was too.
Yeah.
See, there's another memory. Bouncing around again. Yeah,
a lot of memories bouncing around in here.
Is this thing in the shot?
Yeah.
This album right here. This gives me so many flashbacks of what we used to do, because all the tracks that I listen to this day are still on there, and you know, seeing so much nostalgia in the room, that one takes the cake.
Oh man,
I love that picture. I love the artwork, all of it.
And I love that it does that for you, because it does that for me every time I walk in. And for those who don't know, that's the album art for my album The Vibe, which Bigg Zee is featured on multiple times. And the artwork is by Gabriel Frith, one of my students from Nancy Campbell, who's now continued to pursue animation and art. And
amazing artist.
If you follow him on Instagram, and I just saw he's doing these YouTube live streams that are just phenomenal.
Wow.
And the characters he's making are just blowing my mind. You know, you always think, oh yeah, this student is gonna go on to do amazing art, but you never know. But with Gabe, it's like, there he is, he's doing it, you know,
he's doing it.
It's amazing. Sure. And the album too was a very, very special album. Very, very special. And yeah, so speaking of the album and the music and everything, we've talked about hugs so far. And it is a form of your expression, but another form of your expression is to rap, write raps and share raps. So can you walk us through your creative process when you sit down to write? Because I've seen you freestyle, I've seen you write, I've seen you do all kinds of things, but when you actually go to write a verse, how do you begin, you know, and what happens in the middle, and then how do you end it?
Well, I really take a lesson from the rap camp a lot, because before it was just kind of like I definitely went off what I felt in the time. But then with that, there would be lots of moments where I had what a lot of people would consider writer's block. For me, it's just, if I'm not feeling those emotions anymore at the time, then they're gone, because that's what my songs are. They're the expression of self. And once those are gone, if I didn't finish that verse right there and then, it got difficult for me to continue those on. Then I made Lean on Me.
Oh, yeah.
So when you told me to show the students a story, and I really took that in perspective of the beginning, middle, and end. And I've been trying to progressively put that more and more into my songs, because I'm trying to write full songs with hooks and not just usually verses like I used to. And now a lot of it just becomes from, okay, how am I going to start this and how I'm going to finish this? But most of the time now, I try and start of, okay, how am I going to finish this? Because that way, when I know what the ending's going to be, the rest of the story just unravels.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Mm. Something I learned after that song. If I never did that song that way, I would have never got my mind to get to that point.
Right. And yeah, the cool thing is the song you're talking about, that was the first time I did that exercise with anybody. It was at that rap camp.
Wow.
And it was the My Story exercise where you write verse 1 is your past or who you were. Verse 2 is your present or who I am now. And verse 3 is your future, who I want to become. And then your chorus is kind of your main message to the world. And oh my God, man, the therapeutic quality of that process.
It's magical.
Remember, some of the guys at the camp couldn't even write it. It was too painful. But the fact that we were thinking about it, they honored the moment and they respected it, and
it brought everybody a lot closer, and they're so much more open after that, because it was like everybody told a little side of themselves that they didn't even know they were going to get to. So the students realized they were going to go as hard as they did, and they did. Every student there was very talented, like amazingly talented. I see what some of them are doing now. It's just incredible to me. And just the fact that I love seeing the others in my life succeed, and one day we do got to plan a trip to Brazil. I'm going back regardless, some way, shape, or form. I'm going back there.
Okay, let's go. Shout out all the people from Brazil.
Hey,
because at that camp we had all those youth from Brazil as well. Yeah, that was amazing. So
people.
that exercise, I ended up sharing that with many more people in the world. And one place I went was Guyana, and I visited 2 prisons there.
Oh wow!
And I went in with a false understanding of what it would be like. I was kind of scared for my own physical safety. I thought, I'm going to get shanked in this prison, because all I know about prison is really from movies, TV shows.
Right.
But when I went there, I met groups of people who taught me so much. You know, there's a group of men in the one prison who they said the true prison is the prison of the mind. You have to free your mind.
Right.
You know? And they were called the Prisoners of Hope. And I actually have their song that one of them we've stayed in touch on Instagram. And he's just asked me to send him the song. And I thought I did, but I didn't, because it's not even edited. So I'm going to edit that like tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
And send it to him. And it's a wild song. Anyways, at one of those prisons, I forget exactly which one, I did the My Story exercise, same one. And 2 of the inmates said they had the best sleep of their life, because it was a 2-day workshop, and they did 2-day rap camp. And they did after the first day, they wrote, they went to sleep. We came back the second day. It was mostly reflection and sharing. And they said, like, best sleep I ever had. So it's powerful.
I was going to say, you basically were their best therapy session right there.
And that's the thing. And he didn't even do much. But it's just the process of guiding each other, you know, like, hey, let's talk about. And if I said, hey, tell me about your past, that could be the scariest thing ever.
100%.
We say, hey, let's write a song about it. And you can be poetic. You don't need to say it exactly.
Right.
You can, because it's rap. You could be direct, but you could also back it up. So I want to hear a little more about your creative process. Like, so have you ever treated writing like some people treat going to the gym? Like Victor was just at the gym, and then he came here for the podcast filming. Do you ever
respect for that?
Yeah,
by the way. That's amazing.
Yeah,
I love it.
We both need to get on your level,
right?
Yeah.
I know. I'm gonna get there soon.
We got the fatty livers and stuff.
I know. Hey, fat liver.
I
club.
bet you if you open Victor up, it's just clean. Just the liver is just the right size.
not big and chubby like ours.
Not big, yeah. But you don't want to be like correct size Z. You want to be Bigg Zee.
Yeah, of course. Always Bigg Zee.
But maybe in a healthy way.
Well, that's what I mean. Is if I do it healthier, my goal is to do my actions big.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. I like that. Mm-hmm. You could be Bigg Zee on kale.
I like that. Yeah.
Wait, what were we talking about?
So you wanted to let me explain more of my creative process. But
That was it. We got caught up on Victor's insides.
Okay, but what did you? How did you want me to explain
Oh yeah.
it?
Do you ever have moments where you are just writing for the purpose of increasing your writing capacity?
Okay.
Or do you just write when you feel inspired?
So, I used to a lot as a kid. And then I remember I used to buy like little dictionaries. I used to be really good at spelling as a little kid. And so when I started rapping, I was like 10 when I started writing, and then 14 when I started performing, 13, yeah, around y'all. So,
You started writing raps at 10 years old?
oh yeah, because I had a bunch of older cousins that they were trying to do it, and then they wanted to, do the whole thing, make it out of the neighborhood, try and be a rapper, and then they went on with their lives, and I just kept doing it. And it just kept working, and then I started getting better, and it progressed to something that actually got me places. It got me to meet people like you, go to different cities, places I'd never really ever be before, and
Right.
it just took off for me. And like that's what I consider, like, how I put it. I don't consider myself famous, but I consider fame to me is the connections you make with people. So everywhere I go, I know a person that enjoys my company and take me in, and we can go anywhere. And I feel safe in a lot of different places in the world where, a lot of people would be like, that's kind of scary. I can go to Chicago, and I know somebody from my old show that I can stay there. And then same with Arizona, you can go see Jose. And there's all these places that I've been, and all these opportunities that I've gotten just by doing the extra limit with music. And I feel like that's way better than any fame to me, just making those connections through the music. And that's what I've been doing ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've always been powerful at making the connections.
Trying to.
Do you feel that's something that has come naturally to you, or you've had to develop the skill of building connections with people?
It's hard to say, because I don't ever think it comes naturally, but I've had a lot of help from family, and I appreciate everything everybody in my life has done to help me along the way. But as for meeting the people I have, doing the rap shows I have, just taking the opportunities and trying to go full force for that, even though half the time I didn't even know where I was going, that was all me. Because even when I went to LA, Wes just picked me up in the rental, and he said, "You ready to go?" I was like, "Yep, let's do it." And we hit the road and just started driving. And I don't think anybody
Shout
else.
out Wes.
Shout out Fresh Quest. I don't think, other than him, I don't think anybody's crazy enough to take that extra step, And we were like taking showers in like casinos, and just hit the road, driving nonstop, seeing all these sights. And at the end of the day, it became the most amazing thing for me, because that way we got to experience everything. We didn't just fly by it and, oh yeah, I was there. No, I got to experience everything along the way, meet so many different types of people. When we were traveling through the country, there was people going to the same show as me that we met on the way.
No way. That's so epic.
So it was like everybody was on this grand journey to get to this rap show. You know what I mean? It was just, it was cool to experience and see, to be a part of this thing that was way bigger than just me spitting a couple bars on a microphone.
Right. That sounds almost like a movie,
right?
Like the Hunger Games or something. It's like on the quest to the rap show.
Oh no!
And all the things that happen along the way.
You're not wrong though, because like I definitely wanted to. How do I put it? Publish some type of story along the lines. And I know Wes has so much footage of our entire journey. I feel like we could put something together major for that.
Yeah, a little documentary.
Yeah, exactly.
Even a mini one, mini doc. Show what we do, show what we did along the way. I mean, there's time to do it. The time will come. Yeah.
All in due time.
You mentioned that some of your older cousins were trying to make it out of the neighborhood. Where is your neighborhood? Tell us about that. What do you mean by make it out?
Manor Park. It's a neighborhood in western side of London. It was just predominantly native neighborhood at the time. public school, and all of us, we were all knew each other, all family, and it just a lot of us were in lower income or just different situations that weren't necessarily the best in the households, and then it just seemed like that music was the one thing positive at the time. You know, everybody, even in the negative situations, you put on the radio or you put on a tune, and it's the one thing that can at least get your, you know, heart pumping again, kind of thing.
Wow,
so,
yeah, music's powerful like that.
100%. And so with that, it made sense. And then there was this guy, and trying to remember his name. He had a CDs, one of the original rappers from London. I can't remember his name. It ended with wanna, like marijuana, but I forget what his name was. Either way,
you probably remember it as soon as we stop recording.
I know exactly,
yeah.
right? But yeah, I got a hold of the CD, and that's what inspired them, was because the CD. And they're saying, how did this guy from London make the CD? And like, he can actually make music. It's like, I thought only like people like 50 Cent or something could do this. And then it's like, right. So then it kind of gave us some hope that like, okay, so we could like do like a rough draft on a CD and record it ourselves. It's like, this is possible.
Yeah.
And then just that little bit of possibility was just enough to set that dream off and just to continue it from there.
Wow.
And then like I said, like for them, other people had different lives, you know. One of them pursued like a hockey dream or whatever. My other cousin, he's just living his life as he should. But you know, as for me, it just I never saw that light die. When I saw that light at the end of the tunnel, I was like, I don't care how far it is. I want to see if I can get there.
Wow.
I want to see if I can get to that little point. But, you know, still working on it.
Do you feel like you're there? Oh, still work. I was going to say, so you're still chasing that light.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think it's going to feel like at the end of that tunnel? What do you think will be the conditions around you?
Well, here's my thing that I'm starting to realize now. That light at the end of the tunnel, I think I'm not going to get till my means of an end. But as of right now, I'm starting to realize that the light at the end of the tunnel is just me having these experiences along the journey. I don't know what that end goal is. I don't know what I'm chasing. But everything that's felt like that light, or anything that had remnants of that light, is just the people I meet, the shows I've did, the places I've been. It's just little things along the way. Wow. So maybe that's the light in itself. Maybe that's what I'm chasing, just the feeling in all of those. I don't know for sure because I haven't made it to the end yet.
So, that is powerful, man.
Yeah, man. It's what I'm trying to go towards. I'm just not sure I'm there yet.
I think that's a lesson all of us can learn from that you just shared. Because to me, you're kind of saying that, you know, the goal you're trying to achieving that goal is one thing, but how you're going along to achieve it is equally, if not more important than achieving it. You're going after that light, but it's what's happening along the journey.
Right.
That's so important, and it's like you're already there.
Well, it's like let me give an example. Our first rap camp. One of my pivotal moments back then was when you brought me to Legitimate Studios in Mississauga, I believe, right?
Yeah. Metalworks. Metalworks.
Yeah, Metalworks Studios. And it was the first time I ever seen anything like it. It was beautiful, the glass and the microphone. I was just excited to be a little kid and into all of this at a young age. And then the thing was, we accomplished that. And I was so happy to have this video and this one song that I could release on my own and all this and that. But do you remember who we met there?
I do.
Noel.
Shout out Noel.
And the OVO boys. They were all setting up in the studio beside us. So that was one of those things where that was an amazing moment. We accomplished so much. But the things that were happening around us and the things that just we didn't intend to happen, that was just a part of us being there. And so many times in my life doing this music, that's how it's worked out. I've met amazing people on accident. I did the showcase tour And I won in Toronto. When I won there, Boy Wonder was one of the
Judges?
One of the judges. I
Whoa,
had no idea,
cool.
and that just boggled my mind because he's like the Toronto guy.
Yeah,
That's the guy, and then like.
Right.
Just for me trying to make the extra step, and I paid for that show. I paid my fee. It was a competition. I tried to go the whole 9 yards all by myself, and then that was just that little extra. Oh, here you go. I got you. Like, don't worry. You're here. It's happening, and like that was what got me there. Right. It's just all those little moments. Me trying to achieve that one goal is. It means so much more to me because in the moment I don't think about it. In the moment I'm just so focused on what I'm trying to accomplish that all these things happen around me. I'm like, nice, and then it takes me a second to sit down and be like, oh wow, that really just happened. Yeah, it's just a lot of moments have happened like that, and I just try and live for those moments and appreciate those a lot.
Wow, man. So do you have any new music?
I have a lot, but none of it released. And
okay.
I've been keeping so much in the vault, and then even for a while I stopped. I'd say even for like a year, almost 2 years, that I just didn't even touch a studio for a while. It just wasn't for me, and the scene was like, I wouldn't say the scene was out of my reach, but it wasn't where I was at in the moment. And I wanted to make sure that I was 100% in it if I was going to continue to do it. And
right.
Then just recently, I started performing again. Another shout out Koala. One day I definitely want to get him on this podcast with you. He's an amazing singer. He's repping out of London right now, doing a lot of amazing things. He's been doing open mics, setting up the scene out in London, doing a lot of stuff out there, and just anytime he can get me out on stage, he tries to put me on.
That's amazing.
Always try and do stuff together, and it's good to be back on the London scene with all amazing artists again.
Right. Yeah, I've seen on your Instagram. It like feels like such good energy.
Oh yeah,
people are out there and performing.
Nobody's trying to like step on each other's toes. Everybody wants to represent themselves and just support, which is not something you see in a lot of major cities. And just I'm happy to see it.
Right.
A lot of support all around.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. It's definitely come a long way from the scene I remember. So
yeah, wow, that's amazing, man. So before we started this podcast, we both changed our clothes. You put on this incredible shirt.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell? We all know what it says in Canada, or we should. Every child matters.
Well, see, I feel like we're at the tail end of Canada Day weekend, so I felt like this was appropriate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to wear it. I wore it on Canada Day. I try my best to show it off as much as I can, because I don't just wear this on holidays or things like that. I always try and represent it every day, because there's a lot of people that try and say they're supportive and this and that and whatever, but I live it. I am it. My dad was in residential school. I'm a first generation survivor. I seen it. I've watched it. I understand it from a lot of different perspectives because I'm a Native man. And then growing up in a little, how do I put it? I went from the London to the res to back to London, so I've seen both the city and back home, and I've just seen a lot of different walks of life. And then even going down to the States and seeing the reserves down there, I've seen a lot of different perspectives on my people and the people around me, and just this to me means so much more than just I can sit here and say, F Canada Day, or be angry about it and this and that, but it's not about that. This is something that I believe in every single day. This is something that's close to me and my heart and what I represent in myself. I wouldn't be so passionate and go so hard about every little thing I do, even something as simple as a hug.
Right.
If this wasn't a part of me, because this is me. And there's a lot of negative energy surrounding my history.
Yeah.
So I got to be that positive light in this history.
Mm.
And, you know, and if there's a day that people actually keep their eyes on me with music or whatever, then I will be that positive beacon with that orange shirt on.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal here, you know?
Oh, respect, man. Respect.
100%.
And do you feel that we might have a Bigg Zee album or a project or series of songs around the theme that you're just talking about? Or do you think that's something that is sort of just who you are and it's just going to happen naturally?
So there will be a day where I sit down and write about it, but how do I put it? There was something that old and good friend of mine, James Blood, said to me. Shout out to Res Crew, James Blood, everybody Six Nations.
Shout out to Res Crew. Wait, True Res Crew, right?
True Res Crew, yeah. And
I met someone from the True Res Crew.
Oh yeah,
when I was on Six Nations, and because I had the rap camp, it said TRC, and they said TRC. That's True Res Crew. It was
crazy.
Wild.
Oh,
I
really?
forget his name though.
Science.
I actually totally forget his
You
name.
forget? Yeah.
It was out with Crystal Rivers, who it was through her. Yeah.
So speaking of which, with her,
shout out Crystal.
Shout out Crystal. Next weekend, I gotta remember the date here. I know it's on Saturday. I'm doing a memorial show for Booka. He's a rapper that passed. I helped me back in the day a lot.
Oh wow.
He did a lot for the community that way, the hip hop community there. So they're doing a memorial show for him and his family at the Six Nations Community Hall next weekend.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm performing there, and Crystal Rivers was the one that invited me out to do it. So
amazing.
Shout out her.
Shout outs
all around. But while I get back to it, I said, Jimmy James told me that they were one of the first, if not the first, Native group to ever win a Juno.
Oh wow.
But nowadays you see that there's a category for indigenous Junos, Native Junos. So as much as I love that there's representation there. And, you know, one day maybe that might be a goal. I want to be a part of that category too. But what he explained to me, and I'm going to butcher the way he said it, because he just basically said, don't put yourself in that box. Because I don't want to just be considered a native rapper. I want to be considered a rapper. I want to be considered an artist. So I don't see a category for black rappers. I don't see a category for European rappers. I don't see a category for anybody else. So why should I be put in a box when I'm just as good as an artist as anybody else on that stage? You get what I mean? And that's something that he taught me a long time ago. And just from there, that's how I always thought about it. When I get to that point that people enjoy my music and who I am and what I represent with everything that I do, when I get to that point where I can sit on a stage and people are listening to everything that I say, that's when I'm going to start doing things like that. Because that way, then people will actually be listening to what I have to say for me. Not just because of what I represent, because I have brown skin or because I wear an orange shirt, is because they enjoy who I am as a person.
Right.
As an individual. And then I can show them what makes me that individual. You know?
Respect, bro.
Thank you.
I'm so pumped for the future of Bigg Zee, man. It's so exciting.
Lots of plans.
Yeah. No, I can really picture it. And also it's because maybe some people watching right now haven't heard your music or haven't heard you rap, but I have. And so for me, it's just a no-brainer. As you're talking, I'm just thinking, yes, people are going to recognize you as an artist 100%, if not one of the top rappers in the whole region, the whole country. Because I know anyone who's heard you is that excited and kind of just waiting. When's the next track? When's the next verse?
I get it,
you know?
every other day. It's like, when are you gonna drop another Bigg Zee track? I'm like, the time will come.
The time will come. The time will come. Well, speaking of the next verse, I've been saying at the podcast like what we're gonna do, but we just jumped in. But that's okay.
That's how we do it.
We're gonna hit them now. So one of the people who also knows you and has known you since that first rap camp is Arlen. Shout out Arlen.
Shout out Arlen. For sure.
Check out Arlen Yanch music on Instagram.
What a vibe. What a vibe.
And incredible producer, composer, and rapper actually. And I started rapping because of Arlen.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Arlen wrote a rap about being Persian, like half Persian, living in Canada, enjoying kebabs, but, going to school where kids don't know what that is, like that.
Wow.
And it was just kind of silly, too. He was just playing with the words. But I was blown away. I thought only rappers did that.
Yeah.
How can Arlen, that's my friend, like, how does he do it?
I love that.
If Arlen can do it, I could do it. So me and my bro together, shout out Ashraf, we started writing together, and then that was it. So Arlen is what started me.
Wow, he was the catalyst for all of this.
Yeah. And
that's beautiful, man.
He's been there for me since day one, and he's been there for you.
Yeah, 100%.
Since that first rap camp when you were freestyling and he was playing piano. And after that little session, Arlen and I looked at each other like, this kid is it. Like, this kid's got it. Back when you were 13. But anyways,
that's crazy.
Arlen has produced a beat for you.
Yes. The prolific.
Yeah.
I love Arlen's beats because they remind me of scenes from movies. The most epic scenes. You see a Godzilla King Kong fight that you'd hear one of his compositions in the background. Like that's what I imagine when I hear his beats. So when I write to his stuff, I have to make it sound like a movie. But yeah,
that's
wild. Hey.
I feel similarly. Whenever he writes a beat, I get so pumped, or composes a beat.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I actually just put out a song in honor of the 10 Baha'i women who were killed 40 years ago, just for their beliefs. And Arlen made the beat. He actually sent me beat after beat after beat, and then one just clicked. I said, "That's the one for this moment." For this song for me. So,
and it's a beautiful song, by the way.
Oh, thank you, man.
I definitely, I didn't know a lot of your history either, so I'm happy to see someone that's willing to express it, especially the way you did it. I've never seen that done. How do I put it? In the Baha'i way before. And so just to see you do it and to shed some light on the situation that happened to your people was that's inspiring to me. Again, same thing that I'm trying to do. It's good to see you go that route and demolish a track with so much knowledge. That's wicked to me.
No, thank you. Thank you, man. No, it was powerful. Every day I sat down to work on it, I was just crying. Tears flowing. So yeah, it's powerful. But this isn't that moment. This is the Bigg Zee new verse. I need those sound effects. We got a verse about to drop.
I got this thing here. Yeah,
it's so fresh. It's so hot off the press.
I didn't even finish yet. Just look at this. It's crisp.
Crispy.
Yes, sir. Wow.
So I'm gonna play this beat.
Yes. Shout out Arlen Yanch. We may do a little bit more later on with this, the beat, the verses, everything. Who knows? We might just leave it like this, but y'all get to hear it first time right now.
I'm so pumped, man. All right, here we go.
Yeah, right. Seem like my hourglass stopped dripping, clock stopped ticking. No wonder why I've been gone for a hot minute. The opposite of definitive decisions. If you did it again, what would you really do different? Play the same cards you were given, I roll that dice all in it. Would you use it on expensive linens like Justinian? Or would you lead your people to freedom 100th meridian? But look at how I'm rambling about gambling my life away, the weight of dismantling. I'm living while my mind decays. Get out that mind frame, rewind your darkest moment, you'll see the light, you switch the time frame. Give me a second to relax. Every day I'm back at it like a relapse. Take it day by day, I need a nap. Feel like every line is financed. High tax, high risk, high class, badass. So they can try and knock me down, I only vertically expand. Left, right, grand slam. Don't ever try to stop the grind like slow jams. Natural intelligence can't be programmed. That's why your mind's hard to focus. Get through with soldier overthrow this overloaded. Stress but open, feel like locomotives. I'm crazy floating, roll your boat kid before you end up drowning. And I notice under the circumstances, astounding composure. Here's a mix of emotions and potions, trying to find the answer for it's over.
Hey. Before it's over. Hey, before it's over. Hey, before it's over. Hey, before it's over. E to the I double G.
Yeah.
Z to the double E.
Woo.
Bigg Zee.
Yes, sir.
In the place to be.
Tell him.
My name is Karim, K to the A-R-I-M. You know, I don't really rock any fly gems. I just wear all black because that's the way I roll. And you don't know about my soul, but that's really who I am, the real me. And who I am not is the unreal me. I mean what? The digital, the analog. You try to just make it, I am not a slob. I am not a log on the ground that's wet. I'm trying to burn like the fire, just spread. From the north to the south to the east to the west. Every single direction. You trying to get it in my section, you know, Bigg Zee in the place to be. I just wanna be free like this freestyle on the couch. You know we not slouch. We just gotta undo the fatty liver disease because that is a problem. I don't wanna be on my knees. I really wanna be there for my kids and my wife. Shout out to Julie. Hey.
Okay. Yeah, Karim, Rushdy, and Bigg Zee again.
Until
Back
it's
at
over.
Yeah, until it's over. Yeah, until it's over.
Wow.
I need some water for that. That was good.
Respect.
That was real good. I haven't done that in a while.
Amazing. See, you brought it out of me.
I'm glad.
You said some crazy stuff in there, man.
Yeah.
That's the kind of verse you got to listen back like 25, 30 times to uncover all the...
And you'll always get something on there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I appreciate that, man.
Bro.
I love showing you my new stuff, man. And shout out Arlen.
Yeah, shout out Arlen. I'll be buzzing off this for the next month. But luckily for me, we're going to record that verse right now in the studio.
And you can listen to it anytime
on this
you want.
podcast.
Yes, sir.
High quality.
Top quality.
Top quality. And so luckily for me, I get to have access to those files and I can listen to it.
Anytime you need to pick me up, there you go.
I won't publish it ever. That's on you whenever you want, But I get to listen to it. That's the caveat for me.
The privileges.
The privileges.
Yes, sir.
No, I'm just so honored you came through today.
I'm always happy to be here and have a conversation with you, Karim.
Hey, man.
It's much love from this way, man. Habibi, my brother.
We should probably do one hug on camera.
Yeah, one big one. I don't even know if we can.
Thank you so much, bro.
Much appreciated.
You're sweaty.
I am.
So
you
am I.
are too. No ACs, my boy.
Shout out Victor.
Yeah, Victor the man.
Thanks, Victor. See you next time.
Peace.